Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And Yahweh shall bring you into Mitzrayim, Egypt again with ships. And the way of which I said to you, you shall see it no more again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies for slaves and female slaves, and no man shall buy you. And that is what happened to the regal class of the house of Judah. And I want to give you a brief history. I won't go into it too much, but I can't just make that statement because there'll be people that will push back. But I want to give you a brief history on slavery. I was just amazed, I got to tell you. I mean, when you come to America and you talk to people about slavery, you can talk to black people about slavery, white people about slavery, and they'll give you all this history on slavery, and it only goes back to the 16th and the 17th century. And you're like, don't they teach you the history of slavery? Why? Ask the bloody question. Why are they only teaching you the history of slavery as far back as the 16th and the 17th century? Why are they only going that far back? Because they don't want you to go farther back than that, because then you'll actually find out the truth. But from the 16th and 17th century, we'll teach you about slavery. You've got to go further back, and you've got to understand and question, why do they do this throughout the whole of America, in all the public schools? Why do they only go back as far as the 16th and the 17th century to talk about slavery? We've got to go further back than that. Because Islam designed infernal slavery, and then the Ashkenazi Khazars, those who say they are Jews and are not, are the ones that marketed it, and the regal Negro nomads exiled from the kingdom of Judah were the main recipients of it at the hands of the indigenous black Africans. Because you've got to understand, the regal class of the house of Judah came down from Israel, and they came into the land of the black Africans. And the black Africans resented the regal class of the house of Judah in their land, because they had laws, they had customs, they had civility, and they were a regal class of Negro that came down into Africa. And later on, it was the Ashkenazi, the Islamic slave traders as well, that then worked together with the indigenous black Africans to enslave the regal house of Judah. This is what we've got to understand, but you've got to go back before the 16th century to understand the roots of it. So we're going to see, as we dig into this, where this slavery came from, because it was really a system that was very, very well crafted. There was Islamic masters, and there were white Ashkenazi Khazar ship owners. There were the buyers and the sellers. And they're not going to fill you in on all of this, but really you've got a 4-tier system. Number one, you have the Negro nomads that were exiled from the kingdom of Judah. Number two, you had indigenous black African hunters that resented the regal Negro nomads that had come into their territory with their own customs, with their own laws that were different and would not assimilate into their tribal culture. They were their own tribe. They were the regal house of Judah. And number three, you had Islamic trappers that worked with the indigenous black Africans to trap the regal Negro house of Judah. And then you had them sell them to the Ashkenazi ship merchants, along with many Portuguese and British Ashkenazi.
Oh, it is a blessing to know the truth. Because now when I call upon the name of Yeshua, I know those demons are going to run. I know my circumstances are going to change. Because that is the name that is above every other name. And that name is Yeshua. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking this long time to be with me and rejoice with me, I hope is what you're doing. Rejoicing that the truth of Yeshua and Yah and you as his people, it's true. And I know you've known it. And I know that it's sometimes it's like, why do people believe me as a white man? But some of that is because of what's been ingrained in your minds as well, to doubt each other. So I'm not this great man, but I'm just a man coming from the people that have taught you lies, coming from the people that has degraded you, coming from the group of people that has lied to you and created this false, and even put in your own minds to doubt each other. I'm coming to say that we've done that, but the truth is you are his chosen. Yeshua and Yah are the true names of God and his Son. So thank you that I'm grafted in as a believer in Yeshua, and we'll be in touch more and more. So
the wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha in the 5th chapter talks about how Jacob, how the heathen is going to be amazed and confounded when they realize that the so-called black man is that chosen line. You know, in the 5th chapter, I'm getting ready to read some verses here. You know, it's going to be amazing. You aren't going to be able to comprehend it, and you're going to be in anguish and dismay and shock. How could it be that this so-called black man who's been terrorized over here for 400 years and all over the earth, really, in the four corners of the earth, how could it be? Let's read about it.
Well, you acknowledge who the real Israelites are, huh?
So let me ask you this. Look at this right here. Tell them what you're doing, David, Brother David.
I'm just a minister for the Lord, and these are the actual Israelites, ancient Israelites, depicted in Egypt, tomb walls. These are Assyrian captives. I believe these are probably Levite priests because their hair is cut a certain length. They
Look at
also
those
have
black
their hair in
images.
locks.
Look at those black images. Who's that? Daniel wrestling with that lion? With that black skin and woolly
I
hair?
don't know. I wonder if that's maybe a man in an early Christian in a Colosseum.
No, that's David. They said he wrestled with lions.
Okay. Well,
Hey, but look, let me ask you this. Who are the Israelites, right? You see that?
the ancient Israelites are those people that were taken into slavery through Atlantic slave trade and scattered through all nations of the world.
Right, okay.
And where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. You know, so what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is, most likely there is something there. And most likely, maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white, Caucasian people came in a little bit later on.
It is very important that you understand who the true Hebrews are, because that end-time prophecy, lots of it, surround these individuals. I am a Gentile. I know exactly who I am, but it seems to be the one group of people in the world that have been, by the rest of the world, tried to be dumbed down to the fact or completely erase their history from history, is the African American people, so-called, that are scattered throughout the nations. Now, please understand that not every single black person is a true Hebrew, but it is those that are under the curse of Deuteronomy 28. And you'll be able to tell by the time that I'm done giving you this information, this video, who the true Hebrews are, and you may be one of them.
Hello everybody. This video is to show you who the true Hebrews or Jews are, or Yehudim. The people in Israel right now are not Jews. They're Khazars. Your true Jews, or your true Yehudim, are the so-called black person, or African American, as you like to call them sometimes.
I've been reading all the comments, good and bad, and I just feel like there's a few things maybe I need to clarify. So I just wanted to do that. First of all, I wanted to let you know that I was not trying to teach in my video. I know that the women are not supposed to be teaching. I mean, the Bible says that let the women remain silent in the churches. So when you see these women preachers, I really don't know how they justify that, because the Bible's pretty cut and dry. So I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I'm sorry if it came across that way. That's not what I was trying to do. All I was trying to do was just get this information that I've learned out there. So like I said, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. That was not my intention. Like I said, I was trying to get this out there to everybody. And as far as waking up the white race, I'm not sure about that, honestly, because the comments that I have gotten from the white race have been pretty bad. People call me every name in the book, telling me to go kill myself, telling me to get AIDS and die. I mean, that's just the most horrible thing that you can say to any human being. So it's kind of discouraging, actually, because I cannot be the only white person on the face of this earth that feels this way. I mean, there's got to be somebody else out there.
What I'm about to tell you is that the Israelites, the so-called Jews that are living in Israel today, are not the real Israelites. The real Israelites are the black and brown people of the world. What happened was when the black people that were the true Israelites and the brown people that were the true Hebrew Israelites fell from God's word, as it is written, were cursed. So what happened was Rome came and sacked that land, and they all fled. They went out all around the place, all around up north, south, east, west, but mostly down into Africa. They lived there for a little while in the wilderness until they were taken by slave ships to the Americas.
Shalom to everyone, to the children of Israel, to the 12 tribes, to the saints of the Most High. I got this book when I found out the truth of who the true Hebrews were. It wasn't enough for me to just know. I felt it was my duty to go in and truly study their history and what they endured, because I have a hard time with those of you with white skin saying it's in the past. It doesn't matter. So my question to you, white people, is what are you proud of? What are you proud of? I'll say now, denounce the color of your skin, denounce your flesh. And I'm going to read some out of this book. It's called Into Egypt Again with Ships, A Message to the Forgotten Israelites, Elisha J. Israel. And I recommend it to anyone who wants the truth of who the true Hebrew Israelites are. And this is an amazing book. It's only about 150 pages, but it goes into history, it goes into scriptures. So to those of you with white skin that say slavery doesn't matter, my first question is, if it doesn't matter, why did the white man go through so much trouble to hide who the true chosen are?
The true Jews, according to the Bible, you can check it in the Bible, you can read Job 30:30 and some other places. They have never been white. They have been people of color. And they have not stopped in Ethiopia. They were in Ethiopia, Sudan, and they have settled in West Africa. From West Africa, they have been taken as slaves to America. Brothers and sisters, blacks of America, it's you. You are the true Hebrews. You are the true Hebrews from the Bible. America gonna do everything, gonna invest as much money as it has, gonna fight as much wars as they can, gonna invite as much weapons as they can just to hide this away from you. Gonna take Israel, gonna bring white people here and to tell you these are the Jews, gonna kill you, gonna kill Arabs, gonna mistreat white people like this guy just to tell you this lie that you are nobody and we are the Jews with all the history and so on. It has been deleted, your history. You don't know who you are. Don't forget about it. This is why America has been taking your history away, never to find out that it's all about you.
Now, to the real Hebrew Israelites, you're going to refer to Deuteronomy 28, 64 through 68. He is reprimanding and passing judgment on the Israelites for the wrongs that they did, and they did wrong, and they get their judgment, and they have suffered it. He sent them into ships, by ships, into bondage, scattered, so they would never know their land again, it says. That they will never know who their God is, and God shall turn his back on them. They never knew who they were. The Jews today happen to have heritage and they know who they are, but it violates everything that we're going to look at in your scriptures of Deuteronomy, Jeremiah, Zechariah. Because it's not supposed to be established by men. It's supposed to be established by God. In the end, he said he would wake them up. You're going to find in Jeremiah and Zechariah that these people who were taken by ship into bondage and scattered throughout the lands, never to be seen again, never to know who they are again, would not be awoken until the end times. Today, my friends, we are in the end times.
How on earth did you manage that?
I knew he was scared.
Toby's got a gift for horses.
Real special touch, Master. Get back in the field. Steady on, Spaulding. What did you think of Toby's special touch with the horse? It was astonishing, no?
It's just on the look, sir. Horse is probably smarter than an African.
Good God, man. The Semites brought horses to Africa.
Horse is probably smarter than an African.
Good God, man. The Semites brought horses to Africa.
Horse is probably smarter than an African.
Good God, man. The Semites brought horses to Africa when they defeated the Egyptians more than 2,000 years before the birth of Christ. It never fails to amaze me that you traveled the world, Spaulding, and seem to know nothing about it.